The future. I figured we'd probe the future and get a picture of what that looks like. How is AI at that point? Has AI taken over jobs? Has it progressed? What is the thing of 2030? What about Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin still around? What about aliens? Is Elon Musk still alive?
Okay, let's see.
So I'm excited again to do another interview with Psychic Tai here. And if you guys want a reading, it's psychictai.com. I'll put the link in the description and maybe the comments. But today I wanted to do the future. I figured we'd probe the future and get a picture of what that looks like. See, like probe 2030, 2050, even 2100. Just to kind of get a visual of what the general energy reading would be, what that kind of looks like. So I figured that would be a fun one.
Sounds good.
Okay. But I did want to ask you, and I was waiting to hit record to ask you the question. So when you're about to do the reading, I noticed you mentioned a few times you meditate prior.
Yeah, I usually do sometimes about an hour meditation in the morning just to get myself grounded, and that kind of clears out whatever is in my head that may be fogging up the what I'm seeing, because if there's too much other stuff in your mind, or you could say energy in your auric field that's kind of distracting you, you may be not seeing things as clearly. So
I see.
do that for an hour before I do readings for people, and then after, if I have multiple readings, I'll usually just meditate for like 20 minutes in between each reading after that, just to kind of clear out and move on to the next reading.
Oh, it's an hour. Do you listen to a particular recording, or are you good at it enough where you just do it on your own freestyle? I mean, how do you get the private space in order to achieve?
I just have very specific techniques that I use. It's just visualization through a grounding cord from the first chakra to the center of the earth, and then kind of expand that out to the full auric field. And I just, focus on different areas of energy and releasing that. There's different techniques I use for different times. Sometimes I'll feel like there's a certain energy that I need to clear out, and so I'll focus on that. Or maybe I'll just focus on grounding if I feel like I need more of that, and then also just filling back in with my own energy rather than being kind of, taking on other people's energy, which is kind of what an empath does. But I try and fill in with my own spirit so that I am not kind of running someone else's perspectives or ideas, programming.
I also asked because I remember speaking with you about how you've developed your abilities through taking courses. And I find that those courses, those classes, they generally use meditation to open up those channels, whether it be third eye or energy reading and so on and so forth. So I was wondering if that was part of the process that you've learned as techniques to actually gain your abilities.
Yeah, and one thing they always will say, I mean, I would hope that people teaching this would say, is that they can't teach you to be psychic, but they can teach you tools that will help it be easier for you to be psychic. So it's, they can't make you psychic, but it puts you in an environment where you're encouraged to develop further. And so that's usually just lots of meditation and visualization. So I guess that's kind of meditation at the same time. But
Okay.
yeah, meditation, sum it up.
I find meditation to be one of the cornerstones of my progression, my transformation, my success. I would attribute a lot of it towards that. That's why I brought it up. But not
Yeah.
about me. I just want to encourage other people to do it. But let's go into the future. So maybe you could put your astronaut hat on, your helmet.
I'll go ahead and get
We'll
grounded, get set
get
up.
grounded. We'll project to 2030. That'll be our
2030
first stop. 2030. Call it April 10th, 2030.
and 2030.
Do you have a good connection? Did you touch down?
Yeah, it's confusing because I wasn't expecting this, but I'm seeing it looks like space travel is what I'm seeing. It doesn't. This doesn't look like Earth. This looks like Mars or something like that.
Why are you getting Mars?
It's just kind of the sense that I have. It's not so much. Well, I'm seeing it. I get the sense that it's red, and so just seems like Mars. It does. It does seem close within the solar system. It doesn't seem like really far away or anything like that. But it seems like there's something being sent to Mars. I guess I don't know if we already are sending things to Mars now or not, but it seems like there's something going on there. So let me see more about this. I'm seeing a plant being grown on Mars. And this looks like it's to develop something. I'm getting like plastic gloves are coming up, like kind of like a new material, something different to work with here. Let's see more about this. I don't particularly see people traveling to Mars necessarily. I'm not saying they're not. That's just not what I'm seeing specifically. Um, but there are science projects being done, like different gravity levels. But
What about
also,
SpaceX and Elon Musk? Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no, you're good. SpaceX and Elon Musk. This seems like this is more of a governmental operation. It seems that SpaceX isn't really so much involved in this. What I'm seeing for SpaceX around that time is more like commercial. I want to call it transportation, but I'm not sure if it's transportation. It seems more like taking people up into the air, into space, I guess you would say.
Okay, but has Elon Musk progressed in his dream to be, to become? Is he on schedule for the? His goal is to become a two-planet humanity, become a two-planet civilization.
Right. It seems like he's kind of shifted a little bit. Like that was something that was of the past at that point, but he's still interested in it. It's just doesn't seem profitable.
What are his new? What are the things that he's interested in doing now? I mean, he's like that. He'll go on from one thing to the next. What are
Yeah.
his current projects in 2030?
Oh, besides SpaceX. Okay. Let's
Yeah.
see here. It it almost looks like a coin. This could be cryptocurrencies.
Uh-oh.
I don't think it's cryptocurrency though. Not in the way that we're used to it. Um, what is this? Some sort of system of checks regarding money. This is a software. Um, Software used by corporations that they can purchase. Um,
Is he
it
trying to solve currency issues in 2030? Has currency issues like inflation and government spending bubbled up? And is that why he's addressing payments?
Well, this seems it's about monitoring monetary exchanges. So let me see about the question you just asked. Is this to fix a monetary problem? What I'm getting is that there's like a lack of oversight, which is the opposite of what I would think, because with cryptos and the blockchain being visible, that's more something that is traceable. But for some reason, this seems like things become untraceable, and there seems to be corruption involved in that, with money, like money laundering, things of that nature. So let me see. It seems to be tied into some sort of issue. I'm not getting inflation in particular, but it's confusing because it doesn't make sense. But it's almost as if the money is going somewhere else, like as if it's not located in one country, but it's all like going offshores into some like kind of like hidden area where people don't have access to it. This seems like
How's Twitter? How's the Twitter project doing in 2030?
2030 Twitter. I'm seeing Elon Musk stepping back from that. He doesn't seem too involved in that by that time. Twitter seems to dwindle, it becomes less popular. It looks like there are other apps that seem like they're easier to use on a phone. I don't know what that means, but there's something about it being more convenient to use on the go on your phone.
Okay, what about Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin still around in 2030?
Bitcoin 2030. It seems like it is, but it's at a pretty low level, and it's used not so much like people investing in it as much as just like a quick trade. Like if you can't trade in US dollars or whatever exchange directly, then you can transfer it to Bitcoin and then transfer that to something else. Just seems like a different way of trade, but it doesn't seem to be moving too much. It seems like it's just kind of
Okay,
flat.
so let me ask it a different way. Do you know who Michael Saylor is?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
CEO of MicroStrategies. Is he in
Okay.
2030 happy with his investment?
In 2030.
In 2030, is he happy with his Bitcoin investment that now that's going on nearly 10 years?
He seems that he's kind of like retired in some regard. It seems like I get the sense that he had some success before, but by 2030, it seems that it's kind of gone away. It seems like he had some excitement, and like things really blew up at some point in between.
But was
But
was that
point
was that
kind of
over in 2023? Because he did have enormous success, but this was like 2 years ago. I don't want to confuse, you know,
um
from now until 2030 with 2020 until. Does that make
no,
sense?
I get the sense that this is kind of in between now and 2030.
All right, you heard it here, boys. Place your bets. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so what is the most relevant, like, how is AI at that point? Has AI taken over jobs? Has it progressed? What is the thing of 2030? It's the most
Oh,
relevant issues.
yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm seeing like a net that's like pulling crabs up out of the ocean, and this is symbolic. And these crabs represent different countries. So this is just referencing trade. It looks like there's more of a connection with like China and like things that we're kind of trying to cut off these days. It seems like we go the opposite direction and we become more intertwined with those.
Globalization is in full effect.
Yes.
Is this
Um,
a bad thing for America or a good thing, 2030?
it looks like before that period, it can be pretty rough, but it looks like by that period, um, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like a lot of things get sifted through. Let me see more about this. Seems like a lot of the corruption fades away, but there's a lot of damage through that process.
Has there
And
been a progression towards World War III, or
fourth,
the Russia-Ukraine conflict that escalated and all? I know it's a two-part question, but since you brought up globalization, I just wonder, it kind of goes hand in hand with war.
I get more of an economic Cold War situation here. There seems to be lots of trickery involved here. This is also involving not just countries, but also just like the World Economic Forum and banking industries and things like that. And
What
there's a lot.
country is winning that war?
What country is? Oh, by that by
Yeah.
2030.
Yes.
2030. Okay. This seems European. Um, I want to say something somewhere around the UK. It seems like, but it's much more widespread because it doesn't really seem. Okay, that's interesting. So this is like what's going on right now, breaking down the all of Europe and the chaos that it's creating. It's kind of setting things up for more power in the future in that area, even though it's breaking it down right now. Um, and it's creating more of a control system throughout other countries.
Okay.
However, it's
Uh-huh.
it's like everything becomes so okay. So by 2030, it's like this battle between the opposing sides kind of melts away, but there is a lot of problems caused by that prior to 2030. But it looks like by 2030, there's more of just a connection with even the sides that were battling each other, like China is coming up as being very influential here, and it's like there's a little bit of disagreement, but there's more of this cooperation between them all. This does seem. It seems like there's overall more harmony in the world after the chaos. Of course, that would be kind of like a setup, order out of chaos type of theory here. But I also get the sense that a lot of this is actually not the agenda playing out, because it seems like there's an agenda playing out to kind of just take over. But at the same time, there's other forces that are working their way through time, slowly just kind of weeding that out. It looks like I see a lot of this actually coming from the United States, but it's not the United States government. It seems like somewhat of an international awakening, uprising, whatever you want to call it. People just want more transparency. And it seems like along with the transparency of people being spied on and whatnot, there's also more transparency that comes along towards these more authoritarian power controls, if you want to call it that. And so it seems like it kind of backfires a little bit when people start waking up more to what's going on. So it seems like it could get bad, but then it seems like it gets better. Around 2030, it seems like things are starting to get better, but I also see the younger generation being pretty traumatized and not really they can't trust society, is the sense that I get. But they're slowly learning to trust society more.
What about
So
aliens?
aliens.
Sorry to derail you. What about aliens? And
No,
so,
good.
it seems that over the last few years, the government has been a little bit more open about UFOs and more forthcoming with what would in the past be called conspiracies, but now it's just seems like, well, maybe yes, maybe no. How has that progressed? The transparency of UFOs and aliens, and has there been any advancements on that front?
2030. Let's see. It's weird. I'm just seeing like aliens behind bars. So this looks like there's like a legal system that incorporates aliens into it. So it's like an alien can be arrested for committing an alien crime towards the Earth.
Is this metaphorical, or is this like a
Let me see.
law that's a joke?
I don't think it's a joke. No, it looks like there are laws being set in place regarding the Earth and beings not from Earth, and these are public laws that are set in place. So, yeah, that seems like definitely a change.
Why have there been laws put in place? Was there an event that took place that happened?
Let me see. It seems like there's a lot of corruption that's exposed here. You know, things from the past where things have gone on. I'm sure you've heard of, abductions, cattle mutations, things like that. Those aren't specifically coming up. Those are just what it reminds me of, a corruption of some sort here. Things of the past being exposed, the government's working with them is what I'm getting at here. But overall, it just seems like this may actually be just the public recognizing something that's already been going on, and it becomes easier to enforce with the public being clued in on it, because obviously police officers and whatnot may not be enforcing these rules, but there does seem to be some sort of agreement already in place regarding this, but it doesn't seem like it's being fully respected all the time. And there are beings coming in and out that shouldn't be. And so it's harder to catch them. Currently, is what I'm getting, but it seems in the future will be much easier because everyone will be on the same page.
So does that mean that people in 2030, the everyday person believes that aliens are real and it's not no longer a question? Has there been some sort of an event or even like a false flag event? Has there been something that convinces everyone that this is like a real phenomenon?
It seems like a slow process of getting there. I do get that there are a lot of people who have a lot of different ideas about this, and people who I'm seeing these look like religious, kind of more conservative type with guns that maybe protecting themselves. It reminds me of immigration between the borders of Mexico, but it's like on a different level now.
When I said aliens, should I have specified extraterrestrials? Did I?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. I'm just saying this is like a it's funny because they're so similar in this picture that I'm reading.
All right.
Um,
Well,
some more events. It just looks like things have to be exposed slowly. Like there's people in the government who are pushing for this. There are some people who are resisting it in the government. Um, it's a slow release of information.
okay. Let's go to what about last question? What about AI? How has it progressed and how does it
AI.
participate in our everyday life in 2030?
I don't see any disasters here. Um, it seems rather controlled. It doesn't seem to blow up out of control. This just seems very much so like phone apps and things like that, and search engines and things like that. It doesn't. It's used in the learning process, is what I'm getting. I guess AI can teach itself, so it seems somehow it's used in education for people as well. Like it is teaching people, but it's again in a very limited level of control. So it's programmed, even if it's sort of conscious on some level, if you want to call it that. It's still programmed, and it doesn't break out of that programming.
I see. Its perimeters constrain its ability to really spread its wings, so to speak. But
Yeah.
perhaps it's used for. Do we have self-driving cars yet? Is that a thing? Can we scratch that off my list?
Okay. Let me see. Really quick, I do want to say though, I am getting that there's something about AI being used poorly, if you want to call it that, um, for corruption before 2030. And this seems more like governmental use for spying on people and predicting things, predicting the future and things like that, and manipulation. But it seems like that is overcome by another organization that kind of infiltrated the government, that some people refer to them as the white hats, but I'm not trying to get into that specific narrative of things, just to kind of remain neutral. So you wanted to know what was the question? Sorry. Self-driving.
Another question. Self-driving cars, right? Do we?
Self-driving
Do we?
cars.
Do we have?
Okay,
Are we still
see.
doing driver cars with gasoline cars at that point, or have we crossed over to the thresholds?
I see solar panels here coming up, so this doesn't seem like gas powered at that point. Is it really solar panels though? Because I would not expect solar panels to still be around. It's like smaller solar panels. It seems like maybe the technology has improved. Just seems like there's less. It's like a little strip, like on top of the car. It's not like very much.
All right,
It's like
so
a
they're
black
electric.
strip.
All right, let's go to
So,
2050. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
self-driving cars. Let me see about self-driving. It kind of seems more like there's tracks, like you can set it on a specific track. Like there's a reserved direction on a road where you can put it into that setting and it will just follow that specific track. But then once you get to other areas, it looks more like you have to take control of it yourself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Stern but fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I just hate driving. I don't know.